Attractive teachers of Reddit, did you know which students had a crush on you, and what is the strangest or most inappropriate thing you overheard said about you? Young male middle school teacher here. I know quite a few of them who have a crush on me. There's a new fad where they tell each other secrets and say, "Oh, exposed, since when did snitching become popular?" Anyway, I always get told who has a crush on me. And quite often some of the girls will drop by to leave their athletic bags or instruments, etc. in the classroom, and they bring their friends in with them. When they leave, I always hear comments like, "I wish I had him as my teacher." My top 3 worst incidents. 1. I had a girl come in at lunch. She told me, "Mr. I like you," knowing full well what she meant. I tried to play it off and said as nonchalant as I could, "I like you too. You're a great student." She was like, "No. I mean, I really like you." I couldn't believe the tenacity. 2. Another student asked me to take a picture with her towards the end of the school year. I obliged, and on the last day she printed it out and gave it to me with her Instagram on the back and a message about how cute I was. 3. A girl found my Facebook and saved my profile picture as the background to her phone. I deleted my Facebook promptly afterward. If only I could get that kind of attention from girls my own age. I was not attractive, but freshman girls still crushed on me when I taught at uni as a grad student. I would have thought they were just flirting for grades, but they were always the nerdy hot type that already earned good grades. One called me Dr. Told her I didn't have a PhD. Called me Prof. I told her I was just an instructor. She asked if she could call me Professor anyhow. Then she asked if I'd like to get a drink. Told her to ask again when the class was over if she was serious. She was. She called me Professor. It was a really great score for a guy who looks like a catcher's mitt. I'm probably too late on this, but a year 10 boy got suspended for taking and sending Snapchat photos of my ass whenever I was helping a student in front of him. It was another boy who showed me and said he wasn't happy with me being disrespected, which was nice. Not really attractive at all and didn't notice a thing till I asked, in a college lab, "Are there any questions?" And this one guy, older student, about my age, raised his hand and said in front of the whole class, "Yeah. Will you go out with me?" So that was kind of a clue. Not attractive. Nor was I technically a real teacher. I was externally sourced education support at a school with high risk boys. I had a kid nonchalantly say, "Great titties, miss. They look jiggly today." Clearly that kid belonged there. That's a real risky move. My sister, who is a teacher, has turned down dozens of proposals from 6-year-olds. Yes. A real eye-opener was realizing how even very young kids can get overly attached. There was one 10-year-old who acted friendly towards me until her little sister announced loudly in front of a room full of kids, "My sister fancies you." After which her older sister kind of melted into the background and never approached me again. Oh lord. Before my breast reduction I was a timid TA with 34H boobs at a high school. Surprisingly, it was girls I heard most of the comments from. Guys mostly just stared. Anyway. The worst, and certainly weirdest, was when I was watching over a homeroom and pretended not to hear a group of girls talk about a rumor that I had let several male students tit-duck me one after another. And because my boobs were so big, I guess the cum pulled up in my cleavage, and in the end I sucked it all out with a straw. Yeah. More than anything, I was amused by how they thought tit-ducking worked. How big is 34H? Is that like back pain big? Up. It's big. Each one was about the size of my head. I got some back pain, but the worst part was how unpleasant it made doing exercise and particularly running. I have substituted and tutored kids at the high school where my mom teaches. There was a girl that started referring to her as her mother-in-law. That got pretty weird. Did she just start calling her teacher mother-in-law? Or is that what she called your mom between her friends? Either way. Yeesh. All of the above. This girl was very outgoing. Finally, an rAskReddit question I can answer. I'm not much to look at now. But in the mid-90s I was a much handsomer fellow. I was working at a Catholic high school at the height of my best hairstyle and my size 28 waist, those are both gone now. The first day I started, a group of giggling teenage girls were huddled and whispering and looking at me. One of them worked up the guts to come over to me and say hello. "Sir, one question please? Just. She was blushing. "Are you married?" "So yeah." A bunch of 16-year-old girls were hoping I was single. What they thought they'd do if I was, I'm not sure. But they were crushing. One day I'm walking down a long hallway at the school and was vaguely aware of a group of girls behind me whispering. I didn't realize they were focused on me until I heard one say, "Look at his butt." I stopped without turning around. And they burst into loud embarrassed laughter and then scattered like cockroaches when the light turns on. Now, in 2017, I look like the poster from About Schmidt. But I had my day once upon a time. I wouldn't say I'm attractive. But being a TA in college, a lot of girls get flirty for favorable grades. Some try harder than others. Then during office hours right before the final, girls will be coming in with push-up bras and tiny shorts like that's going to work. Once I subbed for my buddy's high school class and one of the girls sat front row center giving me the duck me eyes the entire hour. It was a little uncomfortable. The most inappropriate thing I've overheard said about me wasn't sexual, but rather about my military experience. Just spreading untrue rumors. I'm not a teacher, but my friend is. He teaches special ed math. One day after class, he found a note left on the floor. It was written by an 8th grade girl he taught. And it read, "My math teacher is hot. And he has a big butt. Double bonus, guess she likes big butts and she cannot lie." Overhead, a 12-year-old girl tell another 12-year-old girl she wanted to cut my cock off and wear it as a necklace. Not crush related. But when I was a senior in college, taking a 400 level Poli-C course, our nerdy hot professor uploaded an enormous amount of nudes to our class's online portal. That was an interesting hour and 45 minutes the next time we had class. Edit, no, I didn't save them, you pervs. What was class like after that? Why did it happen? She accidentally selected the wrong folder when she was trying to upload our readings assignments for the week. She just owned it and was like, "Sorry about that, folks. I'd appreciate it if you didn't ruin my life." I have a fresh out of college gym teacher who every girl at my school is nuts over. They are not sly about it either. Pretty much knows that he gets all the girls' panties wet. The girls pretty much tell their other teachers I would be the ham in that man's sandwich, nobody really cares. When I was in junior high, there was a guy who I honestly couldn't tell where he stood in the popularity hierarchy. But he always thought he was hot it. Well, we got an influx of 24-26-year-old female teachers which he, for the most part, hit on, which he was flatly denied. He didn't take no for an answer and proceeded to sexually harass and then assault 2 of the teachers. Not sure what he said, but he grabbed one's ass and tried to dry hump the other. Teaching English as a second language. Had a 14-year-old girl say, "I want to eat you." I jokingly asked with a laugh, "You want to eat me?" She stared me dead in the eye and said yes. Awkward. I had a hot English 101 teacher. She was obsessed with Van Halen. One day she was going to give out extra credit if someone could guess her favorite song of theirs. I didn't think of hot for teacher until after class. No wonder. I think about it all the time. French teacher here. Teenagers are just constantly inappropriate and need very little encouragement. I got asked to prom. Had boys tell other teachers that they thought I was hot. Had a parent accusingly tell me that she now understood why her son loved French, which I took to mean that my innovative skill set had inspired him. I didn't mind though. It meant that I had a class with 12 previously disengaged 16-year-old boys come back for extra homework and revision classes every lunchtime and after school, and every one of those bags of hormones passed. On my first day as a middle school intern, one of my students told his friends, "Miss Turn Off the Century is mine." I walked behind his seat right as he said it and he just about died from embarrassment when he figured out that I heard him. One of my high school students told me that my intelligence was sexy. That was one of those moments where you look for another adult who can verify for any potential future accord that you weren't just creeping on that particular student. Had this 7th grade English teacher working in my middle school. She was young. Like 22 going to spring break parties type of young. Well, one day some kid was distracted during class. Apparently from what he and other guys said was that she didn't bring a bra to school. Though that one kid was mostly distracted looking at her breasts than paying attention. Later on during the lecture she went over there to talk to him and he just kept staring while she talked. He ended up getting relocated to another school. I used to teach high school math in New York and a good college friend of mine taught high school chemistry in Florida for a couple of years. He's a pretty good looking dude. We used to swap stories but he has one much better than all of mine. One Valentine's Day after school was over he returned to his science classroom to find a card on his desk. On the inside was written, "I want to periodically bang you on this table." Also there was a small bag of cocaine inside the card. Naturally he chopped it up on his desk and did the whole bag. Just kidding, he went straight to the principal's office and gave him everything. Was a student with a very attractive teacher. She was maybe 25 or so when I was a freshman and all of the guys talked about her constantly. She always kept the door to her classroom locked during lunch and one day me and 2 other kids were waiting outside for her to unlock the door. I was waiting there because I was lame. But the other 2 kids were friends who were talking about her. Okay, so this conversation took place like 10 years ago. But here is about how it went. God, Miss Blank is so ducking hot. I know, right? No, seriously. Double quote. I know, man. No, but seriously. If she was here right now I'd bend her over and... He then proceeded to mime spanking her by literally spanking the door while we stood there. I guess like any kid who doesn't understand sex might be prone to do. I was maybe 3 feet away and not really sure whether to smile and play along or be horrified. And as he spanks the door a 4th or 5th time, Miss Blank actually opens the door from the inside. She looked at all 3 of us and said, "You boys need to learn not to talk so loud." And then we just went in and sat down. All in all, not a bad outcome actually. But I still wonder what was really going through her mind.